Hey guys, so this is just a quick video reviewing the UFC fights on the weekend. So that is UFC Fight Night, Hermansson versus Strickland. And just going to talk about the three fights, the three main fights on the card. And I also want to talk about one of the judges' decision at the end of the Strickland Hermansson fight and address that because there's been a lot of talk about Saudi Amato, um, one of the judges who scored the card. But yeah, before I go into that, I just want to start with up and comer Shavkat Rakhmonov, who is now undefeated at 15-0. He reminds me of Peter Yan. He's very emotionless in there. He's got a brilliant spinning hook kick, which he dropped his opponent with in this fight and then ended up finishing him with. But yeah, out of his 15 wins, he's got 8 KOs and 7 submissions. So he's one to watch out for in this welterweight division. Some people are sort of comparing him to Hamzat in terms of like undefeated, very dominant. They come from similar parts of the world. Rakhmonov's from Kazakhstan and Hamzat's from Chechnya. But yeah, there was when Shavkat went on, I think it was the Aerial show. I think he was on MMA Hour, and he doesn't like the comparisons with Hamzat. But he says he thinks they will fight in the future, and maybe it'll be for a title in the future. But he's definitely someone to watch. I mean, his biggest win, to be fair, from I've looked through his fight history, is Alex Cowboy Oliveira. But the other fighters I don't really recognize. However, he has broken into the rankings now at welterweight. He is 15, so maybe he needs someone around the 10 to 12 mark and slowly get his ranking up there. Obviously, the fight with Hamzat is not going to happen for him just yet. Hamzat's going to be fighting Burns in April around that time. So yeah, great fight from him once again. Next we have we had Nick Maximov, who is part of the Nick Diaz Academy. So I'm always going to be supporting him versus Sereno, and he took this on sort of late notice. I think it was 6 days notice. And it's sort of embodying the Nick Diaz philosophy of like fight anyone, anytime, always be ready to fight. As Nate said at his end when he beat Conor McGregor the first time, he said we should always be ready for fight, always on our worst day. So he wanted to go out there and play that mentality. But what he did was he used his wrestling to really nullify Sereno. Sereno's got a few KOs on his record, and I think Nick was wary of that. So for 3 rounds, he just shot on him, grinded him out, held him down, got in his back for a bit. Nick Maximov did get cut in the eye, nasty eye injury from a knee. But other than that, he dominated and he got the win. And Nate Diaz was there supporting him. And he also did an interview with Ariel today. And he spoke about he wants the Hamzat fight, which is unlikely to happen. Plus, Maximov is at higher weight. He's at middleweight. He also talked about how how him and all the teams speak like Nathan Nick Diaz. And people are saying, they're just copying them. But apparently that's how people from North California speak in general. And it's because a lot of the North Californian fighters haven't broken through. So people just associate that accent and how they speak with Nathan Nick Diaz. And he said he's been speaking like that, since he was young. But he does sound a lot like Nate Diaz. Furthermore, on that interview, he also gave an update about Nick Diaz, and Ariel asked if he's back in the gym. He says Nick's out and about doing his own thing, so I don't think he's back in the gym. He's probably just out there enjoying himself, partying, doing what he wants to do. He's deserved that. Obviously, he must have got paid I think it was around $400,000 for the fight against Lawler. So he'll be all right for money for a while. And to be honest, I don't really want to see him back in the octagon unless he wants to, unless he's actually in shape to fight. But yeah, that was just a great update, and 8-0 Maximov moving forward. I would want to see him fight a ranked guy now to really push him forward. But I feel like with his wrestling and training, boxing with Nate Diaz and jiu-jitsu with Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez, all those guys, they got great jiu-jitsu. So if he can take the boxing and the jiu-jitsu from Nate and his team, and he's adding the wrestling in as well, I think he'll be a great fighter to watch. Definitely the best prospect from the Nick Diaz Academy. And finally, Sean Strickland versus Hermansson. Not the greatest of fights. It was supposed to be a bit of a war and stuff like that. Strickland actually fought very technically, won with his jab, and Hermansson just couldn't get his wrestling going. Strickland is a master at not getting hit though. there was a stat in that fight that around 73% of shots thrown at him, it just don't land on him. So he's got 73% strike defense rate, which is crazy. And also, like, in that fight, he didn't take many shots either. Teddy Atlas spoke about the small steps that I think he takes in and out of range. So a lot of his opponent's shots just miss. He did sort of explode in the last 10 seconds, and he wasn't happy with his performance, you know, saying, I know you guys think I'm a pussy because of this performance and stuff. But ultimately, he did get the job done and did get the win. So, yeah, onwards and upwards for Strickland. But, yeah, that's it. That's it for the review. Apart from one of the judges had the Hermansson winning, and I've watched this fight twice. And there's no way in hell that Hermansson is won that fight. The max you could give Hermansson is one round, and that's the first round. So ultimately, the high score for Hermansson would be 49-46 in favor of Strickland. And I don't know how this judge, Saudi Mato, scored it to Hermansson. Maybe because it was such a boring fight, he just stopped watching and just couldn't be bothered. And just did what he wants, really. But he's one of the main UFC judges, and he's on like the UFC game, and he judges a lot. So it was a shame to see that, really. I feel like with judges, I mean, some people were saying like he should be fired because of that. I feel like if he makes another one call, maybe a 3-strike policy, you get the decision totally wrong, it needs to be off the board. But yeah, it was a decent card for a fight night. Thank you.